Boys and girls, here we are continuing our 8.1 New Nation lecture. And here is what you need to fill in for your notes. So if you open your purple booklet up really quick, we'll talk about the financial problems that the U.S. was facing. So the situation is we have George Washington as president, we have John Adams as vice president, and we have a cabinet of people working with the president to solve our nation's problems. We also have a pretty good situation. We've got a good working body of people with the president, his cabinet members, Thomas Jefferson. We've got Alexander Hamilton. Those two guys would be critical in helping run the country. Financial problems. Let's look at this graph. We can clearly see right here that the amount of money to run the government was about $4.269 million. Pretty cheap in today's standards. Back then, a lot of money. The amount of money that we owed because of the war was about $77.5 million. Not good. Here's our income. All right, $4.419 million. So income needs to be bigger than what the cost is to run government. Otherwise, we'll increase our national debt. All right, so the goal is to make more money than it costs to run. And here's the numbers. Fortunately, we were making enough. However, it was only $150,000 more that we were taking in through taxes and imports versus our expenses. Back then, that might be a lot of money, but today, that'll hardly buy you a house. Okay, so that was the big problem. How would we solve our country's national debt? How would we pay back those countries that supported us in the war against Great Britain? All right, let's define national debt. The national debt, even that we have today, the one we have today, is the amount of money the nation owes other countries. The amount of money the nation owes other countries. Mainly back then it was France. Today it's China. All right, on to the next slide. Hamilton had a three-step plan to fixing the debt problem. Okay, he was the treasurer, the secretary of the treasury. So his job was to come up with a plan to fix that problem. Here's the first part. 1, improve the United States financial reputation. Back then, reputation meant a big deal, meant a lot. And strengthen our nation. Why would we need this? Well, Hamilton believed in the banks, okay? He believed that debt made the country look weak and that nobody wanted to trade with a weak country. So the U.S. needs to look strong and responsible. How can we do this? Have the states pay off the national debt. Okay, we can imagine that some states would not like this idea, right? So it would cause a rift or a separation or a disagreement between the two groups. So Hamilton's idea, great idea, but how are we going to get the money? All right, we would get the money through tariffs. A tariff is another name for a tax. One of these taxes was the whiskey tax. Farmers raised whiskey to help make ends meet, all right, between the time of planting the crops and harvest in the fall. Okay, so whiskey was a supplemental income that they could sell on hand. Hamilton believed in manufacturing. Okay, he wanted to also add that into paying off the national debt. How? By creating tariffs on all imported goods. So those are goods, here's the US, brought into the United States from Britain or France. Okay, this would encourage people to buy American goods. All right, American goods. Buying that kind of stuff is very good for our economy. It helps us to pay off our national debt faster because states are making money, etc. What did the South feel about this? They opposed the tariffs. They mainly opposed the tariffs because they had little industry themselves or ability to make or manufacture goods. And more importantly, they sold their cotton to Great Britain, who in turn turned that cotton into textiles to sell to the United States. So get this. With these tariffs, the South would be hurt. So the South absolutely hated this plan. Okay? Let's talk about how it hurt the South. Over here. The United States can make cloth for $4. British can also make it for $4. But with an import tax, the British cloth, which is the same, would cost $5 because of the $1 extra tariff. Obviously, we like quality goods, and if we can get the same good for a cheaper price, we're going to turn and buy the United States goods. So if Britain is selling less cotton or less cloth and textiles, they are less likely to buy from the South.